Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's issue. We're off to a good start. Today's edition of Trek at 2, presented by Boys Life Magazine. My name is Aaron. For those of you who watch us on a regular basis, you will notice the person next to me is not Gina. Gina is on vacation again. I am joined by a very special guest today. His name is Mason Wettengel. He is from Nashville, Tennessee, although he's currently joining us. He's nice enough to join us from his vacation in Florida. Mason, how are you?
All is well. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for joining us. Mason is the Adams Award winner for the Southern Region Eagle Scout Project of the Year. And over the next 15, 20 minutes or so, we're going to talk to Mason about his Eagle Scout project, what he did, how he got the idea, how he executed the whole thing. It's a really cool story. As with all Eagle Scout projects, it took a lot of hard work. I would imagine he was happy when it was done, but also felt very proud of it when he was done. That's kind of a common theme, I think. So first of all, Mason, thanks so much for joining us from your vacation. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
It's an honor. Thanks for having me.
Sure thing. So real quick, for folks who don't know, I think everybody who's watching probably is familiar with what an Eagle Scout is and what that means and what an Eagle Scout project is. What you might not be familiar with is the Adams Award. So I just want to explain to our viewers real quick. First of all, thanks to everybody who's watching. Mason, we've already got somebody. Beth Mason says hi. Hey, good luck. Beth and you have the same last name. How about that?
Yep,
So
that's my mother.
You might have already have a fan. Pack 118 says hello to Mason. Very nice. And Troop 567 from Plymouth, Minnesota says hi, Mason. And Troop 1777 from Wyandotte. See, Gina can never pronounce Wyandotte, but I can because I'm better than her. I'm probably saying it wrong actually, but they are one of our Mason. They watch every day when we do this, and they say hello to you. So we have a lot of people watching on our Boys Life Facebook page. We also are on Scouting Facebook page, BSA Facebook page, the National Eagle Scout Association Facebook page. So we have a lot of people watching. Thanks to everybody for watching. Okay, so real quick, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Mason is the winner of what's formally called the Glenn A. and Melinda W. Adams Eagle Scout Service Project of the Year Award. For short, we call it the Adams Award. And the award is named after Glenn and Melinda Adams. Glenn Adams was the president of NISA, the National Eagle Scout Association, for 8 years. He is the chairman of the BSA National Florida High Adventure Sea Base. You're not too far from there. He's been an active volunteer and donor in scouting for a long, long time. We are very, very appreciative of his service to scouting for many, many years, so much so that we named an award after him. That's how much he means to us. We're very excited about it. And I just want to fill our folks in. If you are working on an Eagle Scout project now, or maybe your Eagle Scout project is years down the road, the award process for the Adams Award starts at the council level. Just so you know, each council nominates one outstanding project to the National Eagle Scout Association. And from there, each region names a regional winner. And Mason is the regional winner from the Southern region, which includes a lot of states in the South. Don't know exactly which one. Mason is from Tennessee. So we know Tennessee is one, along with Texas and Florida and everything in between and all through that area there. So having said all that, Mason, thank you for joining us. And again, so just tell us real quick about your Eagle Scout project in general. We get a lot of emails at Boys Life Magazine. I get a lot of emails from scouts and parents who are understandably very, very, very proud of their Eagle Scout project. There's a lot of really good Eagle Scout projects. Every year, kids are out there doing great projects. So it's really, really cool that out of all those projects, yours was named the winner of the Southern region. So congratulations, and just tell me a little bit about your project, what it was all about.
My project was renovating a motel for a veterans home. A lot of the rooms were not in livable conditions, so I went out there and redid pretty much everything in the rooms, painting the walls, refurnishing, new flooring, bathrooms. And it was a great experience. I met some of the best people in my life out there.
That's awesome.
I just realized the issue of 40,000 homeless veterans in America, and I thought if I could do anything to lower that number, I would love to do that.
That's great. Yeah. So this was a hotel, if I understand correctly, that or it used to be a hotel, I guess, and the building still existed as a structure, but it had been converted now into a veterans home. And but you saw that it hadn't been kept up like maybe you would hope a veterans home would be, right? I mean, hotels, we all like to stay in nice hotels, right? And those are maybe kept up to certain standards. What is it about that sort of drew you in? Like when you saw that, we've all seen things like that. We've driven past, we've noticed it, we've said, "Oh, that really stinks," but none of us, or very few of us, decide to devote several months of our lives to doing something about it. Why do you think that sort of struck you? What is it about it that made you think, I need to do something about this?
Sure. The veterans home really caught my attention because I know those are the people who fought for us and made a difference in our day-to-day life. And anyone who serves our country deserves a home. So as I just saw those rooms, they were all destroyed, and I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to work, I wanted to give them a home.
That's awesome. It's very inspiring. And it is heartbreaking, isn't it, to think that folks who served our country, heroes, absolutely, right, could kind of be left out, of where the rest of us always have such nice homes, maybe that we take for granted, or a nice place to live. The thought of these folks who have done more for their country than I certainly ever have, right, to be left out like that is heartbreaking. So thank you for what you did, first of all. And then, so tell me about once you chose that as a project, then what was the first step? How did you get started to actually making something happen?
For funding, I needed funding to start. So I applied for a Home Depot $5,000 grant.
Okay.
And inside that grant, I promised to match the money in donations. So I started a GoFundMe page and I reached out to a bunch of people to get the ball moving. And the community just picked up the project and helped me along the entire way. It was really great to just see everyone come together and make a difference.
Yeah, that's really cool. One of the so I've worked for Boys Life for many years, Mason, since probably right around the time you were Cub Scout, and I've talked to a lot of Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts who had to do a lot of fundraising, and I feel like uh, one of the things in common is that when you say that you're working on an Eagle Scout project, that means something to people, even people outside of scouting who aren't super familiar. They didn't grow up with scouts necessarily. They don't know as much about the program as we do. When you say to people, I'm working on an Eagle Scout project, I feel like that means something. Did you get that impression when you were fundraising and asking for volunteers?
Yes, sir, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And especially when it's going to a worthy cause like this. So, how much money did you have to raise?
It was $22,000 with in-kind donations.
Wow, nice. So, yeah. So, and you've mentioned the GoFundMe. That didn't exist many years ago. When a lot of people watching this are adults, they didn't have GoFundMe, but that's a really valuable resource now. We've talked to other Eagle Scouts who have had good luck with that. Is that a pretty easy process to set up a GoFundMe page like that?
It is. You set up a bio, put out some pictures, and say what you're planning to do with the money. They take about 2%,
Mhm.
but for how easy and organized the website is, I'd say it's worth it for
Yeah,
sure.
it's one of those right. It's one of those things where you're willing to pay that 2%, knowing that you're going to get a lot more donated overall, thanks to how easy it is to spread, right, through social media. How did you get the word out? Did you share it Facebook? What did you use?
Little bit of Facebook. I started off reaching out to people individually because I thought that people would be more willing to donate if they saw other people had already donated.
Mhm.
So I individually reached out to people, got the ball moving, and then other people hopped on, complete strangers. were donating, and they were all commenting, and we kept a blog posted. You can update to the people who donated, and
Okay. So you can kind of
yeah,
recognize them a little bit. Yeah, I get so they're kind of getting something out of it a little bit.
yes, sir.
Very cool. How did that make you feel then? It's not easy to ask people for money. How did that make you feel to get such a positive response?
It really gave me hope in the community. I saw the community come together like I've never seen it come together like that before. Seeing everyone do their part, and complete strangers were donating large amounts, and it was just really breathtaking seeing everyone working towards a common goal
Mhm.
and just really making a difference.
Very awesome. Very cool. So, in addition to raising money, in order to successfully earn your rank of Eagle, you have to lead volunteers. You're not allowed, no matter how hard a worker you are, you can't go out there and do it yourself. You've got to have volunteers to provide actual man hours. Tell me about that. What was it like recruiting volunteers, and what was their response like? I would imagine you probably had some fellow scouts with you, right?
Yes, we had
Where did you get your
about
volunteers from?
eight, excuse me,
Yeah, where'd you get your volunteers from?
we had about 80 volunteers total, and probably about half of them were through the scouting troop, which
Okay.
was fantastic because it was the I'd invited them to work on my project with me before I'd even gone on my first camp out with this new troop, and they all
Okay.
did their part, and it was really cool, and it was a great way to get to meet everyone more personally through the work days.
Okay.
And the other large portion of people were strangers from GoFundMe. They would message me and they would ask when my next work day was, and they would go out for a few hours and help me paint or refloor or demo a bathroom. It was really cool. We had people from New York or even people who live close by that I'd never met before.
That's
Very,
awesome. Yeah. So you had some non-scout volunteers, just members of the community come out.
yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah. Well, of course, none of these projects could happen without that kind of help. So, and again, but again, what one thing that I think we've learned is that when you tell you, you kind of have a double whammy because you're an Eagle Scout project and it's such a good cause. I would imagine that maybe that probably helped. You mentioned painting. Let's talk about the actual work itself then. What kind of work needed to be done at this facility?
Some rooms were worse than others, but overall, they pretty much all needed a complete redo. That bathroom that's on screen, it wasn't actually us who tore that part down. It was already half torn down, so we had to clean that up, replace the tubs, the toilets, grout the walls. We even for that bathroom in particular, we got new tile. We would have to paint all the walls, redo all the flooring,
So,
furniture. We would either buy a bed on Amazon and paint it, or maybe get lucky and find a nightstand at Goodwill and paint that over. But pretty much everything needed to be redone. Electricity for some rooms,
oh
and
wow. So
even plumbing. There was a whole lot wrong with these rooms.
it's almost like it's just a massive remodeling project. It sounds like, and I mean, I have trouble patching up a hole in my drywall in my house. So I can imagine for something like this, not only do you need help, but you also need people who know what they're doing. You mentioned electricity and plumbing. I don't know how much you know. You're probably not a certified electrician or a plumber, so you had to find people who could do that. I guess. Did you just happen to have volunteers like that, or did you have to actively find, hey, we need a plumber. Let's go find somebody who can do this.
The person in the picture right now, his name is Mike Wilford, and he helped the entire time. Even on his days off, he would come out there and help me out. He works at the American Legion, which is just across the street. It's like a hangout spot for the veterans to hang out.
Okay.
And he would show up, and he knew his stuff. He would help me with electricity and all that kind of stuff. He makes so
He
much
had
money.
those skills that you needed, it sounds like.
Yes,
That's
sir.
huge. Yeah, that's great. So not only that, but supplies. You mentioned you bought stuff on Amazon. You said you got stuff from like Salvation Army or something like that. I think, right? So it sounds like, I mean, you're just kind of getting stuff wherever you can find it. Is that right?
Yes, sir. We had donations from Electrolux. They donated 5 refrigerators.
Oh wow.
American Design donated 5 windows for each room. And we would have people drop off different furniture that they didn't need in good conditions, and we would refurbish that and install the furniture. That artwork on the screen was also donated. A
Mhm.
lady named Mary Poole, she made 5 of those art pieces and donated them. I thought they were really cool.
Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah. Um, it just sounds like, obviously, and look how nice the rooms look in those photos. We're looking at, I think, the finished version here. If you're still doing work on it after that, I don't know what it could be because it looks pretty darn good. So that's awesome compared to some of the before pictures we saw earlier. It just seems like a ton of work, which obviously an Eagle Scout project is not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody walking around out there would be an Eagle Scout, and it's not. It's supposed to be difficult. How much time did it take, Mason?
About 350 hours total.
Okay, that's a lot of hours. Yeah, yeah. And is this was this during the summer vacation for you, or how did you plan all this out?
The actual project was over the span of a year.
Okay, and this would have
And
been in 2019. Is that right?
18.
2018. Okay, and so you
Started,
started. Go ahead. Did you start early in the year?
I started, I think it was October in 2018.
And then it ran all the way through, probably obviously the end of 2018 into summer, maybe fall of 2019. You're saying?
I got my actual Eagle Award August 2019.
Gotcha. So yeah, so a good 8 or 9 months later, at least. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's a lot of work, and it's supposed to be a lot of work. So Mason, we always have a lot of Cub Scouts. Pack 4118 is watching right now. I think I mentioned Pack 118 is watching right now. Um, I wonder, I bet there's a lot of Cub Scouts watching who would like to be Eagle Scouts someday. I wonder if you could share any advice for them. Back when, were you a Cub Scout yourself, Mason? I'm guessing.
Yes, sir.
So, if you could communicate with young Mason, what would Eagle Scout Mason say to Webelo's Cub Scout Mason about earning the rank of Eagle and finishing up an Eagle Scout project?
Sure. You never want to wait to get the project done. It's always going to be there in your scouting experience, and you want to get the jump on it. And my goal was to finish before I was 16. And it's just a big deal because when you're 16, there's so many priorities. You're going to be able to drive. You're going to want to hang out with friends all the time, and schoolwork's going to pick up, sports are going to pick up. And it's just so important to get that out of the way, and you'll have time to enjoy the scouting experience after without needing to worry about anything hanging over your head. And I've just enjoyed my last few months of scouting a whole lot more without needing to worry about a project or merit badges. You still do
Yeah,
them, but you don't have the eagle badges over your head. It's just a lot more of a
right.
hobby. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a huge achievement to earn Eagle. And you make a great point that I think there's some perception out there that maybe when you earn the rank of Eagle, you're done being a scout. But that's not necessarily true. It doesn't have to be true, right? So you've remained active in your troop after you earned your Eagle. And what a great experience that is, like you say, to have accomplished all that and to still get to do the fun stuff. You get to go camping and participate in all the cool scout events. that is great. And maybe you also get to kind of serve as a mentor for the younger kids who just joined scouting. You're now the expert. You're now the older guy who has done it before and been through there. So what a great service to your troop to maintain, to still be active and to maintain contact and things like that.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Um, One of the things you mentioned is the problem of homelessness of veterans. Talk to me about that a little bit. What did you learn about that? Because that's something that we sort of all hear about sometimes, right? We every once in a while we'll see a story on the news about that, but you obviously saw it up close. How did that affect you, and what did you learn about that?
I definitely became more educated on the topic as the project went on, but just meeting the people in the other rooms as I was working, they were some of the best people I've ever met. They're so kind and so thankful to receive any attention or help. And I'm just shocked being thanked by them because I always feel like I should be thanking them for their service. So just knowing that there's people out there without a home and there's people out there in the cold after doing so much for us, it's just really, really hurts me.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. I would imagine, yeah, it would be overwhelming, like you say, to have one of those folks say thank you to you, and you're like, no, dude, you're the one that we should be thanking. Absolutely. Um, Melissa wants to know how much contact you had with the people who live there, and if you were able to stay in touch with them. I would imagine during the process, you met some of those folks, right? And have you
yeah,
have a relationship with them? Do you know them?
I know a few of them. A lot of them stick to themselves, but
Sure.
many of them would come by while I was working and they would bring me donuts or they would just stop in, say hi, and I got to know a lot of them and they were
Hmm.
great people.
I'm sure they
Just
were. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm
being
sorry. Go
able,
ahead.
just being able to take a step into their lives and see how great a people they are beyond the media, beyond just what is said on the news. It's really touching. Makes you see their personality instead of just words on a screen. It was
Right.
really cool.
Right. Very cool. So you got the idea, if I remember correctly, you said earlier you literally were driving past that hotel, or you just knew of it. I think right when you first, a couple of years back before you started work on it. Now, when you go by there, you know that it's different. It's in a lot better shape now than it was just a couple of years ago. And hopefully will last, a few years. You've made an impact on the community that lasted a lot longer than the 8 or 9 months that it took to do the project. How does it feel to you now when you see that hotel and you see that home and you know that the folks living inside are in a lot better position now than they were a couple years ago? How does that feel to you now?
I I really feel like I made a difference. I feel like I improved the lives of a couple of people who truly deserve it, and they're continually being improved because different organizations are stepping up and adopting rooms now. So they'll keep the rooms in check. They'll make
Okay.
sure everything is in good shape. Nothing's wrong with the rooms. And another organization even came out and donated a roof, which
A roof, you
was
said?
a roof, yes, sir.
Nice.
Which I was pushing for, but I didn't see $44,000 being raised. So I was really
Okay.
happy that they got that roof.
Yeah. That's awesome. So do you think that did those things happen because of your Eagle Scout project? Or do you think those would have happened anyway?
I think partially because everyone I would talk to about the project and I'd bring up the place, no one had ever heard of it. It was probably about 90% of people had never heard of this veterans home. And the word kind of got around after my project. And I don't know if it's a coincidence, but other organizations started stepping in. I know Women's Club has a big part in maintaining the veterans home after I'd spoken with them, and it's just really cool to see the community working on it without me after me now.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've really made a long-term impact there. That is great. Um, Mason Troop 94 from Silmar, California says hello. Um, Thanks so much for joining us today. I just want to recap for everybody. This is Mason Wettengel from Nashville, Tennessee. He's the Southern Regional Adams Award winner for his Eagle Scout project to help homeless veterans. It's an inspiring project. You have made a truly significant impact on your community. We're very proud of you. Thanks for joining us. And again, everybody, just so we know, Mason joined us from vacation in Florida. Uh, he did not have to do this. We are very appreciative of him for doing this. So, Mason, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank
Any
you.
final words? Any other final bits of advice you could give for younger scouts who are watching? I know you mentioned, trying to kind of get it done relatively
Sure.
early. Don't wait till you turn 17 and a half, right? Any other bits of advice you can give our younger viewers?
Yeah. If look for a project that really interests you, project that's large scale, makes an impact, but something you're interested in and would work towards consistently until it's done and it is done right and it is done well.
That's great advice. And that's another common theme to Eagle Scouts I have talked to. If you already have kind of a passion for the project, you've got kind of a head start, right? Like when you discovered this facility, that got you, right in here, and it meant something to you, and that makes a big difference, I would imagine, because it's a lot of work, again, and a lot of time. Sometimes it's physically demanding labor, and then, and sometimes it's just many hours. So if you have a passion for it, everybody out there watching at home, you're off to you automatically have a head start right there, as opposed to if it's something that you don't care that much about. It's a little bit easier to get up on a Saturday morning at 7:30, I imagine, if you really feel strongly about what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Mason, thanks again for coming on with us today. I really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for watching at home. We're going to let Mason go back to his vacation. Have a good time. Be safe out there. For everybody watching at home, we will be back on Trek at 2 this week on Wednesday. And a week from today, next Monday, we will have another Eagle Scout on to tell us about his project. Mason, we're doing featuring a lot of the Adams Award winners over here in the next couple of weeks. So it's we've gotten a lot of real inspiring stories. So thank you again, Mason, for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And thanks everybody at home for watching. We'll be back on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Thanks everybody. Say bye to Mason, everybody. Enjoy your vacation.